Sports fans, we are live. Welcome to the Sports Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, OG the Beast. Of course, as always, with me, we got Uncle Chilltown 32. What's poppin', Unc?
Basketball, Steph Curry broke the record tonight.
Yes,
Football
sir.
season is still in effect. We getting close to the playoffs too, man. That's even better.
Yes, sir. This is my favorite time of the year. You know, we getting close to the
hmm
playoffs. What is it? It's December 14th, 2021 today. On a great Tuesday night. We got a lot of stuff to talk to y'all about. We got some defensive player of the year conversation. You know, we got some Stephen Curry talk, like Unc just illustrated. He just broke the record. Finally broke the record.
hmm
Like I say, if you on YouTube, you know, drop us a like, drop us a subscription. If you messing with us, man, if you rocking with us hard, and if you haven't dropped us a follow over there, please go do so for all my loyals everywhere across the globe. But maybe if not the next show, the show after that, we should be on Spotify, we should be on Apple, we should be on all of that. Me and Unc been chopping it up and figuring out which way we gonna go about that. So that's gonna be in full effect pretty soon. So even more ways to reach us and hear this great podcast that y'all love just so much. You know, but shout out to those guys on the loyals on YouTube. Shout out to the loyals right here in this chat, because you know we keep some loyals. J Flocks. You know, shout out to all the loyals in here. We got some new cats as well, too. First time chatter, Black Majestic. Just commented. Don't know if it's your first time in the show, but hey, first time chatter. Appreciate you joining in and everybody that's with us today. But let's get on with it. Steph Curry broke the record. Finally broke the record against the New York Knicks. We thought it would be in dramatic fashion. Really wasn't in dramatic fashion. It was just regular old Steph Curry, like Unc stated. Appreciate the subscription, tier 1 subscription. I appreciate the subscription, man. The gifted subs, they are always welcome. Y'all want to drop us some bits, y'all want to drop us some gifted subs, man. We appreciate all of that. But Steph Curry finally broke the record. Wasn't in dramatic fashion. Draymond Green over excessively celebrated it. The embrace between him and Ray Allen was nice. It was good to see the passing of the torch, even though Steph Curry pretty much already took that torch for him, had it for a few years now, but it's nothing like officially taking it. You know, like when you become the best at something prematurely, but people ain't ready to hand it to you, so you kind of got to snatch it from them. This was Curry's way of snatching it from him. Now it's pretty undisputed. You know, anybody that wants to make a legit case for Steph Curry not to be the greatest of all time, good luck with that. But Unc, he finally broke that record, man. What you think about it?
Yeah, man. I wasn't surprised. I think that we now gonna get Steph Curry back to being what he was a couple of weeks ago when he was the marksman that he was, when he was super sharp. Well, he was pressing, and they were looking for him a little more in the offense. He was trying a little harder than he normally does, but now that this is over, now he can just acclimate himself back into the offense. Now he can get himself back focused and he can get himself back running again. But when you talk about a guy like Steph Curry shooting threes and knocking down the long ball the way he do, I just got an interesting stat that I want to reiterate to you that Ray Allen in his career, he shot 15 threes in a game 4 times. All
That's
right. He
it.
did that. He did that 4 times in his career. Steph has done it 10 times this season. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm wondering, I know that the game has changed, and I know it's become more of a long ball shooting game where teams are shooting the long ball 25, 30, 35 times a game. Is it going to top out at some point? Are we going to get to 50? Are we going to get to 60? How many shots? Because we can't have teams shooting 63s. You're not going to win shooting 63s. So at some point, we have to top out where a team is deciding, all right, this is as far as we're going to go with this, but we have to have other elements in our game.
I agree with that. And who's I mean, see, innovation is key when it comes to basketball. At least we could say from the 60s on up, you know, the golden era of basketball, we've seen the game evolve. And
Yep.
that's the biggest point, right? We've seen
Yep.
the game evolve from the
hmm
60s, everything being close to the basket, inside game only, nobody really shooting anything outside of 12-foot jump shots. That was the whole game. The objective was get the ball as close to the rim as possible. That's why the paint was so clogged and so crowded, right? you move on to the 70s, which is the worst era of basketball, but whatever happened in the 70s just happened in the 70s. The 80s was the highlight reel, the Showtime Lakers, the up and down fast-paced basketball. Then you get to the 90s where guys was trying to live above the rim. I want to be like Mike, Dominique. All of these guys is just, dunking all over everybody. Then you go to the 2000s and, the post game and the mid-range shots started to evolutionize with Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson and Tracy McGrady and the emergence of all of these guys. Then you get to the 2010s and I don't know what happened in the 2010s. Who knows?
Now in the 2010s, you got the bigger guys. So now the Euro game, so Nowitzki, Kukoc.
Yep.
Now those guys are Kevin Durant. Those guys are LeBron James now, because now those guys made it cool for Kevin Durant. They made it cool for LeBron James and guys like that to play on the wing, and to not just play on the wing, to shoot the long ball, to be creative in the mid-range. They created that for those guys.
Yep.
But when I think about Steph Curry and his place in history, right? I get a lot of people that say to me, yo, he's the best point guard to ever live. Now, Steph Curry absolutely changed the game. No question about it. He changed how the game has been played. Now, Magic Johnson, to me, he retired in 1991. He came back in 95, 96 to just do it on his own terms. But the Magic I know, he left in 91. So with that being said, that was 30 years ago. Now, I'm not that close-minded to think that for the next 20 years, I'm not going to see a point guard better than him. I'm not that close-minded to think that. People my age and older, we have to have that conversation that the guys that we grew up watching, they're going to be guys who are going to pass them. I can't imagine that there's a person today that thinks to this day that Bob Cousy is the best point guard that he ever seen. There's no way he can believe that. Just like in 20 more years, which would be 50 years, I can't say that I've never seen anybody better than Steph Curry. I have a hard time believing that. I'm not Steph Curry. I have a hard time believing that there won't be anybody that'll come along that's better than Magic. I just don't think it's this guy. That's all. I'm not saying that it won't be somebody. I just don't think it's this guy.
When it says this guy, you talking about Curry?
I just don't think it's him. That's all.
So you don't think Curry has the potential to be better than Magic?
I just don't think it's him. That's all. That's not to say that I'm not going to see another guy at the point guard spot that's better. We talking about a dude we talking about him and Magic. We talking about dudes who saved the league, yo. That's who we talking about. We ain't talking about guys who were transcendent in terms of them just shooting the ball. We talking about guys who saved the league. Mm-hmm. We talking about the NBA Finals, or when you wake up at 3:00 in the morning and you click on ESPN and you see a game that was played earlier that night. That was the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Before Magic and Bird showed up.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden everything is on live TV. Yeah, it's on live TV, and those dudes are responsible for that. And when we're talking about a guy in terms of being a player, I haven't seen anybody like him at that size, with that ability, with that athleticism, to be able to do the stuff that he's doing. Now, once again, Beast, I want to make sure that I'm 100% clear. I am not saying that I am that close-minded to believe that for the rest of my days, I'm never going to see anybody better than him.
No doubt.
I'm not that close-minded. Right. I just don't think it's this dude. That's all.
I'm not really going to come down on you about that because, you entitled to your opinion. Although I do think Magic is the greatest point guard to ever play this game. But the way that Steph Curry put a twist on it is really not allowing people to see it for what it really is, because they don't call him a traditional point guard. And because of that, they expect him to play like an Allen Iverson type role, who came in as a point guard but eventually moved to the two because they knew he was masquerading pretty much. You want to shoot the ball. Like, you're not looking to facilitate, really. You trying to shoot the ball, which is what Steph Curry prototypically does. So I get it. Magic is probably the best floor general, maybe arguably of all time. Pace controller, leader, all of that wrapped in one is what you want in a point guard, and Magic does nothing short of exemplify what that really means. So I get why it'd be hard for anybody to budge off of Magic being the greatest point guard of all time, me being one of them. Magic Johnson was amazing, and those 5 championships, way heavy. They mean something. Steph ain't got to that point yet to even compete with that. And, Magic could say he's top 10 in the statistical category. Curry can't quite say that, and Magic didn't have a long, illustrious career either. So, I could agree with that from a standpoint. But while we talking on the subject of greatest of all time, Tom Brady, that is a guy that I truly believe is the greatest of all time, arguably in football history, not just at the quarterback position. Shout out to KB for the gifted sub. I appreciate you, my boy. But Tom Brady completed his 700th touchdown, in overtime to end the game. That's how he ended the game. I hope Mike Evans didn't throw that ball in the stadium.
Don't do that, Mike. Don't do that, yo. Please don't do that, Mike.
Whatever the last one was, double that.
No. Don't do that, Mike. We already been there.
This ball going straight to Ken.
Yeah, y'all don't do that, Mike.
Not only that, he beat the Buffalo Bills, who felt like they were in the game. While watching this game, I felt like, man, Buffalo might do something. They was down like 10-27 at one point in the fourth quarter, and it's like I see Josh Allen just surging his team. And this we talking about, I think, arguably a top 5 defense in the league right now in Buffalo. They've been playing some great defense, especially against the pass, and it's like for Tom Brady to just walk these boys the way that he did. So, like I say, not only did he throw his 700th touchdown, he also broke Drew Brees' record for the most completions in NFL history. I don't think there's another. People are still legitimately out here trying to make a case for somebody to be better than Tom Brady. Listen, for those that need to hear this, nobody is better than Tom Brady. He is the greatest quarterback to ever play this game. Every stat is owned by Tom Brady. He's going to retire with all the all-time quarterback stats. Most rings by any player. I think Charles Haley right now has the most rings with 7. And I think, Brady got 7. So if Brady wins another chip this year, he's going to have 8. And it's like, seriously, what argument can you legitimately come up with? Oh, you're going to reach for analytics and say Peyton Manning this, Peyton Manning that. Oh, Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's been in discussion. He's been the closest guy in discussion when it comes to Tom Brady as of late. He's been a guy, but I don't think it's close anymore. I think Tom Brady should be the runaway GOAT, and at this point, if you think anything other than that, I think it's internal. You got some type of hatred towards Tom Brady. You said F your mom or something to you, but what you think about that?
I bleed 49er red, as you know. And you know how I feel about Joe Cool, right? But what I can't do is I can't deny greatness. I can't. So let me put something on your mind right now. Tom Brady, as of today, right, and he's still playing, and he looked like he got another year. He looked like he got another year left.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's scary.
He looked like he got at least another year in him at this level. So as of right now, Brady's at 83,300 yards, right? The next closest guy to him, active, is Ben Roethlisberger. He's at 65,000. You got Ben playing after this season, Beast?
No, he's done.
So you think Ben is washed? All right.
He's got barbecue.
Okay, so Ben is over. The next guy after Ben that's active is Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford is at 49,000. All right. So Matt Stafford, in order to catch Brady, he would basically have to have Donovan McNabb's career in order to catch Brady. Now, that's another 10 more seasons. You got Matt Stafford hanging around for 10 more years?
No.
I don't. Not playing at that level, I do not.
Especially
Absolutely
not at this level. If he does hang around, it'll be back up, and he's too good for that. So,
well, the next guy after him that's active, and I want to make sure that I don't want you to throw up on the microphone or anything like that. But the next guy active after him is Flacco. Yeah, the next guy after the next guy after him is Flacco.
Joe Flacco
at 41,000, right? And then the next guy active after him is Russell Wilson, who has 36,000. How many more years you think Russell gonna hang around here? I ain't got Russ hanging around 10 more years. I don't.
Maybe 6, 7.
I give him 5 tops. That's as far as I'm going with Russ. I'm giving him 5 tops. So I think that Brady, when we just talk about yards, we ain't even talking about completions, Beast. I'm going to take it a step further. Tom Brady, 7,156 completions. The next active guy is Ben Roethlisberger at 5,300. You already told me he washed, so he over.
He's done.
You told me he done, right? The next guy after him is Matt Ryan. Now, let me put this on your mind. Matt Ryan led the league in completions last year. In order for him to catch Brady, he had 400 completions last year. In order for him to catch Brady, he's got to do that for 5 more seasons what he did last year. Good luck with that. Do you got forget him even playing at that level? Do you even have Matt Ryan hanging around for 5 more years?
No.
I don't have him hanging around for 5 more years. Which brings me to my next point to my nephew over here. So, with that being said, Tom Brady is basically it's not even going to be a conversation when he hangs him up of where he is. Well, the same idea is going to be with James, Beast. Once he gets past, I think he's. Let me put this on your mind. James is 526 assists behind Steve Nash for number 4. He's doing that next year. That's going to be over. All right, he's going to do that. In addition to doing that, so he's going to be in the top 5 in assists all time. Right. So in addition to doing that, I think he's going to pass Jabbar next year. Right. So he's going to pass Jabbar next year. He's going to be number 1 all time in playoff points, number 1 all time in NBA points, right? Let's see. He's a little over 150 rebounds away from being a part of the 20,000 point, 10,000 club. Now, my nephew over here, y'all, let's make sure we clear. My nephew over here has made it clear to me more than once and more than twice. That's a platinum card. Yeah. To be a part of the 20,000 point, 10,000 rebound club, that's a platinum. That's a black card.
10,000 rebound.
If you get that, both 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds.
Yeah. Okay.
If you get to that club, that's a platinum. My nephew has already told me that's a black card club.
Oh yeah.
Everybody ain't getting into that club. Welcome. That's a very exclusive club. If I walk up to that door, we need to see some credentials in order to get in here. So if James were to do that, when we talk about numbers,
as a small forward, that's the most impressive aspect of it.
Right. We're talking about blowing the competition away. Like,
off the top of my head, if I could think of it's probably like 6 guys. Off the top of my head, 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds. Shaq, Duncan, Olajuwon,
Chamberlain. Elvin Hayes.
Yep, Elvin Hayes.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Yep, Dirk got 10,000.
Kevin Garnett
got 12,000, 11,000, I believe, and he got 30,000 points. That's 6.
Kevin Garnett.
KG got 26,000 points.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now Dwight Howard ain't there yet, but he right outside. I don't think he's gonna get there. But that's 7 guys right there.
On what aspect though, Dwight Howard? For the points or the rebounds?
He already had the rebounds for the point. He almost had 20,000 points.
So he gonna get
Dwight Howard.
That's only 7 guys.
Yeah. That's it, which is why I just said my nephew over here, he will tell you this is a black card club. This is not a platinum club. This is not a gold club. This is a black card club. No doubt. Have to have this credential in order to get in here. So for him to be a part of that group, in addition to all the other stuff, it's going to be real hard to make the argument. Just like Tom Brady, it's going to be hard to make that argument, B.
And that's why I say what I say about Chris Paul, because he's in that list just with assists. And he's the only guy sitting at that table.
Number 3 all time right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like 20,000 points, 10,000 assists, though, instead of rebounds. He's sitting at that table by himself.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That guy is amazing, Chris Paul. Shout out to Chris Paul, man. Like, that's an amazing feat. But
absolutely.
But, yeah, when it comes to Tom Brady, man, I don't think, and that's why I say Tom Brady's greatness is going to be, a lot of people say, well, on a per game basis, give me Peyton Manning. Or I had one guy try to debate with me on TikTok. He wanted to cancel out Tom Brady's last 4 seasons, just because Peyton Manning played 17. So because he put Brady 17 up against Manning 17. I'm like, bro, you know what you skipping? Like, Brady played 4 more years. You know what you skipping? Like, championships and shit. Like, bro,
right.
Like,
he didn't just play 4 more years. Like, he didn't just play 4 more years. He wasn't just around.
He was at a high level, top of the league, he was elite. Type shit.
He was elite. He wasn't just around.
He said in the TikTok, we just going to just cancel out the rest of what he did because I don't care about that because Manning only played 17. I'm like, bro. You tripping. That's when you get to looking at it as this is no longer longevity. I like to call it sustained greatness, right?
Right.
Longevity is Andre Miller. If anybody knows who Andre Miller is, point guard, Denver Nuggets, Andre Miller played close to 20 years in the league.
He played 17 to be exact.
Yeah, that's what I like to call longevity. He was just kind of hanging around, solid, serviceable point guard. But when you're LeBron James in your 19th season and don't look like you really slowing down, look like you could play another 2 to 3 more years, when you Tom Brady
at that level,
right?
Not just 2 to 3 more years. At that level.
When you LeBron James, when you Tom Brady in your 21st season, 22nd season, looking like you could play 25 seasons at this level, I don't call that longevity. I call this sustained greatness. Because that's what it exemplifies, and their careers are very similar. But that's neither here nor there. If you this is to you, and whoever the hell else trying to make a legitimate case and legit trying to argue against Brady to be the GOAT. Cut it out, bro. Stop it. But shout out to Brady, man. He's the GOAT. KD goes for 50 the other night. 50. He's averaging like 35 in his last 4 games. Kevin Durant has been on a roll. You call these Nets fool's gold, right? On the year, he's averaging 29, 7, and 5 on 53% shooting. Not from 3 like I expected, 38%, which is serviceable, but it's not Kevin Durant. I expect Kevin Durant to shoot upwards of 40% every single season, or at least close to it, which he is. So I'm not complaining. But Kevin Durant brings up an interesting topic that I seen somebody discussing on TikTok earlier, right? Not necessarily using Kevin Durant, but using this other guy that I want to talk about. Although Kevin Durant has been playing great as of late, he's carrying the Nets single-handedly almost. But there's another guy, and I'm dropping this bomb on you. Me and Unc didn't even discuss this. There's another guy in Denver. His name is Nikola Jokic. He was compared to Dirk Nowitzki. My man Funny Fat Boy went out on a limb and said Joker is better than Dirk Nowitzki right now. And I jerked my head back in disbelief, but then I thought about it because Dirk is one of my favorite players all time.
It ain't ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous, yo.
To say that Nikola Jokic is better than Dirk Nowitzki as a basketball player, of course, credentials ain't there yet, right? Dirk is 31,000 points, 11,000 rebounds. Like, you got a long way to go to get to that plateau. Like, it's not a lot of people that have 30,000 points. It's probably like 6 guys, 7 at the most, off the top of my head. So you can't just say that just to say that. But if we're talking about from a basketball standpoint, it's not blasphemous to say that. And I'm like, damn, I can't believe I'm actually thinking. That is how underrated and overlooked Nikola Jokic is. That is how underrated and overlooked Nikola Jokic is. A lot of people are right now trying to make a case for Joker to be the best player in the league right now over a Kevin Durant that's performing the way that he does. What you think about that? If you had a choice, what would you take?
That ain't ridiculous neither. Because we talking about a dude. It's not only is it not ridiculous. I mean, we talking about a dude who I think last night he went 30 and almost 20 and 8 2 nights ago, and then 2 nights before that I think he went 39, 17, and 8. So the only reason why we ain't talking about Joker more is because Denver isn't very good. That's the only reason why we ain't talking about him. If Denver was where they were last year, where they were a top 3 seed, this would not be a conversation. As much as I love Kevin Durant, as much as I love Steph Curry, if Denver was in the top 3 like they were last year, this would not be a conversation. We would be looking at a back-to-back league MVP as of right now. Now, when I look at on the surface, when I look at Joker on the surface, and I look at Dirk Nowitzki, I think Dirk was a better athlete. I think Dirk had I think he had a little bit more in his bag than Joker.
He had a better shot.
I think he had a little bit more in his bag than Joker. But when I look at an overall player, it is not ridiculous to say that Dirk Nowitzki got some competition with Joker, and Joker may be a better overall basketball player. Joker isn't very athletic, but Joker shows how much skill set he has when he's lacking athleticism. We talking about a dude that's averaging almost 14 rebounds. He can't jump over a chicken sandwich.
I'm saying.
Okay? This dude can't jump over a chicken sandwich, and he averaging 14 boards a game,
now,
right?
Is that a testament to where the league is right now as far as big men really not being as dominant as they were back when Dirk played in the 2010s? Or is it just that he's really that good of a rebounder? I mean,
I think he's really that good of a rebounder because he's gotten better. I think last year he averaged 9 rebounds last year. This year, he's got to do more, specifically because his team isn't very good because they decimated with injuries. He didn't have these guys last year. I thought Aaron Gordon would be a lot better than what he
I
was
did
him
too.
coming
I did
into the
too.
league.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be a lot better. So we're talking about a guy in Joker who leads his team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and he's tied with Aaron Gordon for blocks. I'm trying to remember the
Oh
last
my
guy
God,
who led
LeBron,
his team. That's the only guy that I'm thinking about who led the team in every
Scotty,
major statistical act. And Scotty didn't even do that in the '94 season because he didn't lead the Bulls in rebounding.
Kukoc
That was
did.
Ho Grant. That was Ho Grant, and he
Kukoc did.
didn't.
Yeah.
And he didn't lead the Bulls in blocks. I'm not blocks. I'm sorry. He didn't lead the Bulls. What am I thinking about?
Assists or steals, one of them. I think
He
Kukoc
did
led
lead.
in one of them, and Ho Grant led
Right.
another one.
We have not had a guy since I can remember that with the exception of LeBron James lead the team in or be tied at the top of the list in every major category. But the reason why we're not talking about Joker, and I've said this the same reason why we're talking about Bird. I think a lot of it is because of who he hear Euro. And
Mm.
we don't talk about Euros like we do Kevin Durant. We don't talk about Euros like we do James. We don't talk about Euros like we do Anthony Davis or James Harden because he a Euro.
I think it
And I
could
think
be
that
also because his game is boring. He don't play above the rim. He hangs around the 3-point line as a big. Nobody really want to see that. Don't really play with his back to the basket too often. So it's like maybe that could be what it is too. His game is kind of boring.
right
So I if I had to put a piece on it, probably that would probably be a big piece that I put on it.
now to answer your question about excuse me to answer your question about the Brooklyn Nets. I don't think they fool's gold. I saw Kevin Durant. I watched that Brooklyn game against Detroit the other night. Kevin Durant goes for 50. No James Harden, and we in a dogfight with the lowly Detroit Pistons. And I also want to put something, with the lowly Detroit Pistons, we in a dogfight, right? So we talking about a team who LaMarcus Aldridge, James Johnson, Blake Griffin, and Claxton is his last name. Those four guys in the fourth quarter. You know what I got from them beasts?
What?
I got 2 points and 1 rebound
From
from all
all
four
four
of
of
those
them?
guys.
Damn.
Not from one of those guys or two of those guys, from all four of those guys. So what's going to happen when we get later on in the season, when we get to the playoffs? We're going to run into teams that are going to expose us for being thin in the middle. I'm watching them play against Atlanta, and I know who James Harden is. He's shown me who he is more than once, more than twice. You could drop weight, you could put on a nice dress, you can get yourself fresh, but at the end of the day, I know you.
I know who
So
you are.
stop trying to sell me somebody that you're not. I
Right.
know who you are.
Right.
So with that being said, that's the problem that I'm having with this Brooklyn team. They're thin in the middle, and James Harden has underperformed in the playoffs countless times. That's why
Numerous.
I can't. That's why I can't trust this unit. Not to mention, the Eastern Conference has gotten so much better. Now I can appreciate what happened last year, Beast, because we're talking about a team who was Kyrie Irving rolling his ankle away from going to the Eastern Conference Championship.
No doubt.
Because
NBA Finals.
they definitely had that series under control
Mm-hmm.
before he got hurt. They definitely had that series under control, and I cannot deny that. Excuse me, I cannot deny that. However, to bring Kyrie Irving back into this fold, will he make them better? Will he be a distraction? What exactly does he bring? He'll bring buckets, but what else will he bring? Will he bring the other extracurricular nonsense that comes with him? And
That's a great question.
how is that gonna affect our unit? Because it looks like they're trying to do something. Don't forget, Brooklyn is in first place now. And last I checked, you could do something really good, right? You could do something, you could have something going that's really good, and one thing can just completely throw it off.
No doubt.
And I wonder if Irv was to come back to this unit, how would he affect this unit? We talking about him taking minutes from other guys. We talking about us having to deviate from the way our offense is. We talking about a whole different dynamic that we have now.
Don't
So
hold your breath
I,
on that though, because I mean, I don't know if they desperate just yet because they still winning ball games. As much as people are panicking about the Nets, they number one in the conference. So it's like
They say are.
They saying, oh, what is it? It ain't pretty.
Nope.
It's they scrappy, but they pulling this shit out. So you really can't say too much about it. It's working. Yeah, we beat them twice. But we a different breed.
Well, not just y'all, not just y'all dudes, beast. Don't stop there. 5-7, 5-7 against teams over 500, under 500, under 500 against teams over 500.
Exposed.com. But Kyrie definitely makes a difference. If Kyrie was to suit up, Mike Ketch says Kyrie makes them the faves. Yeah, definitely. Even if he's only playing home, if Kyrie come in and play and give you 20 minutes a night, I don't give a damn. He's going. I mean, if you not that guy and you on the Nets, you got to get the hell out the way and accept reality because Kyrie Irving is coming into the building. So whatever minutes you was getting, if it's at the expense of Kyrie Irving, I'm sorry. He's 20 times better than anybody else behind him. So you got to take that L. But there's a team out west that won 3 out of their last 4 games. Yo boys, man, out in the Bay Area. The 49ers have been playing very, very decent as of late under Jimmy Garoppolo. Kittle looks healthy, and they balling. My man Nick Bosa, 14 sacks on the season. He should be in this MVP, Defensive Player of the Year consideration as well. Coming off an injury, a major injury, he's been balling out. Is this team a sneaky playoff candidate? And I think right now they are in the lead of all the 7-win teams, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they got that second wild card spot behind I can't think off the top of my head, but I think it's 2 10-win teams in one of these divisions. But I think but it's 2 wild card teams this year.
2 of them, not one.
It's not one no more. It's 2. So they got the second wild card. What you think about your boys, man? How they been playing?
Well, we had a favorable schedule. So with the I'm very happy that we don't got to play Seattle no more. So I think that's good. You notice being a Philadelphia fan that as good as your team is, there's that one team that you just don't want to see these guys. I don't care how good your team is. There is this one team that you thinking, what can we? I know in order for us to be the best, we got to see these dudes. But is there any way that we can avoid these dudes? If we can avoid these dudes, I'm down for that. So I'm looking at the schedule, and we had a pretty favorable schedule. We ain't got to play Seattle no more. They own us. Russell Wilson is 14-3 as a starter against us for his career.
Beatings.
Own us. We can't do nothing with them. However, I think we got to. I'm looking at our schedule, and the fact that we got Atlanta, Tennessee, Houston, and the Rams. That's the last 4 teams that we got to play. I think we got a good shot against Atlanta. They got one of the worst pass defenses in the game.
Yep.
They give up the most touchdowns, and I think they 3rd in the league in giving up touchdowns.
No
Tennessee, doubt. They in the bottom half of the league in rush defense, and we one of the best rush teams in the game. So I think we can handle them. Houston is a trap game.
Mm-hmm.
Houston is very much a trap game. And the Rams, I think we 6-0 against the Rams. In the last 6 times we've seen them, we've beaten them all 6 times.
Y'all ain't gonna
look at my unit. I look at my unit, and I look at what we did against Cincinnati yesterday. Hats off. And me and you had this conversation before the season started. I'm a big Cincinnati fan. I love Joe Mixon. I love this dude, Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase is going to be an all-pro more than once, more than twice. He looked like he is hell to deal with. He don't look like he is good. He looked like he is hell to deal with. He's got defensive coordinators losing sleep trying to figure out how to deal with him, right? So when I look at what my boys did, got to Joe Burrow, sacked him 4 times, and he still was able to get off and handle himself in the pocket the way he was handling them. To hold Joe Mixon to under 60 yards on 18 carries, I thought that was really good. My boys, man, we ain't that bad. We a lot better than what I thought we was. My front 4 with Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, like you said, 2 sacks, and Al Shahir and Fred Warner. Our defense looks like it's coming together, and the most important part about that is that we healthy. Now, we're using Debo because Debo was coming off an injury. We were using Debo more in the run package than we were in the catch package. The
running back's been banged up, man.
Yeah, they have been banged up, and Debo's in a great insurance policy for that because he actually was really good. But I do think we got a shot to make the playoffs. I don't know how much noise we're gonna make in the playoffs, Beast, but I do think we have a legit shot to make the playoffs.
As long as you get in there and represent, man, I ain't got no
Yeah.
issues with it. But they've been playing some good football as of late, man. And I don't know. Trey Lance is my dog. I love me some Trey Lance, North Dakota State. But shit, he might have to wait the way Jimmy G been playing. He's been playing decent, and as long as Kittle's healthy, that's his security blanket. And he seems so much more comfortable with the flow of the offense when that man is to the left or to the right of him. So shout out to the 49ers. Defensively, they seem to be coming together and bringing on their stride. But there's another team, Kansas City Chiefs, 7 out of their last 8 with an abomination the Oakland Raiders put on. Blew them doors off them boys.
Smoked them dudes. I was surprised about that, yo.
7 out of their last 8 games, the Kansas City Chiefs won, right? When all the uproar about Patrick Mahomes losing it, they called on the Patty Mahomes. Oh, no. Cover 2 shell. The Buccaneers exposed them. All you got to do is run a cover 2 shell. 2 over the top, 5 yards off the corners. Don't press them. Don't try to beat them up at the line of scrimmage. Pringle and Tyreek Hill and Miko Hardman and Travis Kelce. Newsflash, they haven't even been beating you like that. That's what makes this the scariest team in the league. And you know what's going on right now? Tom Brady's getting a whole lot of love, him in Tampa. They're getting a whole lot of chit-chat through the media. You know who else is getting a lot of chit-chat? The very cute, very sexy L.A. Rams getting a lot of chit-chat. They real cute. They just signed a little Odell Beckham. He's doing a little touchdown celebrations and shit. They got the little Cooper Cup. My little Cooper Cup, as Matthew Berry call him. They got the whole everything you need to be cute, right? A lot of these teams is but you know who getting it out the mud? Playing better defensively. Kansas City. Finding different ways to beat you. You know how frustrating that is? When they not using the traditional way that they've been blowing the doors off folks, but still blowing the doors off folks, saying, hey, we're going to hand this ball off 25 times today because that's something we traditionally don't do. We're going to hand this ball off 25 times, and our defense is actually going to do some carrying because that defense has been playing stout as of late. Kansas City Chiefs are scarier than people want to give them credit to be. While y'all worrying about Tampa Bay, while y'all worrying about Arizona, while y'all worrying about the Rams, while y'all worrying about all of these teams that's real cute and flashy, worry about these guys behind you that's got on some sweatpants, hard hat, because they coming to put in work. And it's crazy.
Let me ask you this. Okay, go ahead.
And it's crazy because I feel like that's not who they are. But at any point in time, you let up off that gas, Kansas City can turn right back into that hot fire whenever they feel like it. Patrick Mahomes, all of a sudden, 75 yards, Tyreek Hill. Now you in trouble. Oh, shit. They still could do that. Cover 2 shell.
I got to eat it. I got to eat it because I'm pretty sure you and I had a conversation, and I'm 100% confident that I said, quote, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are what? I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I thought they was out. I'm watching them, and I'm watching how bad that defense is. I'm watching how bad Patrick Mahomes is on offense.
I kept saying, do not panic.
They look at a sink.
Andy
they
Reid
just
is
look
too
like
smart. Patrick Mahomes is too good. So is Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. I've never seen Kansas City win so many games without Tyreek Hill having massive production. I've never seen it.
And I think, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I think somebody in Kansas City was watching our podcast because somebody lit a fire under Sorensen's ass.
Yes.
And somebody said to him, yo, OG the Beast thinks you super whack. He don't think you whack. He thinks that you super whack. Can you get on your job, please, and shut him up? Mm-hmm. Can you do that? He's been one of the better safeties over the last 4 games in the game. His ability to cover space. He had a pick 6 a week ago. I'm loving everything about him. Bolton just looked like he gets to the football. I love everything about Bolton. You know how I feel about guys who get to the football. Bolton gets to the football. Hitchens gets to the football. Honey Badger, you already know what it is with him. Ain't nothing sweet over here. That 9 gap, try. Good luck. Good luck with the 9 route, because you're not getting it off over here. It's not happening. So with that being said, I see where you are with the Kansas City Chiefs, but I will tell you this, and I want to put this on your mind, nephew. Justin Herbert, 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. I just want to put that on your mind. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I am going to say is Justin Herbert, undefeated against Patrick Mahomes. And
Undefeated
guess who's
against the
coming?
Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think Patrick Mahomes played in one of those games.
Guess who's coming to town this weekend?
Yeah,
That's
no
all
doubt.
I'm going to say about that.
And 7 out of 8 games, you're about to see a Kansas City Chiefs team that's becoming unpredictable because that was their main Achilles heel. They were so strong at one aspect of the game that even if you knew what the hell they was doing coming in, you couldn't do nothing about it. It's like 5 seconds on the clock. You playing the Lakers, you playing the Bulls, you playing the Cleveland Cavaliers. Who's getting the ball? LeBron, Kobe, Jordan. We all know that. But that's not the question. The question is, can you stop it? Shot over Elo, and it's good. The Bulls win. Everybody in the building knew Jordan was going to get that ball, but can't do nothing about it. That's the problem. So when the Kansas City Chiefs have now figured out different ways to beat you with the running game, the defense stepping up, timely short throws, intermediate passing game, using the wide receivers for screens, not just everything is 40, 50 yards down the field. You know, we're not dunking no more. So, you know, we step back. We shooting this 15-footer now. Now you got to anticipate what I'm going to do. Kansas City is more trouble than people are giving them credit for. Look out for the Kansas City Chiefs because they are back. But I'm going to tell you a team that is back to who we thought they were, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are garbage. They put up a 0 burger this week against Tennessee. Trevor Lawrence this whole organization is in shambles. Trevor Lawrence is looking garbage. What's Trevor Lawrence on the year? Trevor Lawrence lost as many games already this season. They got 2 wins than his whole high school and college career combined. Trevor Lawrence. He don't know what losing feels like until he stepped in this organization, which is they are who we thought they were. Jacksonville has never been good. I could only think of maybe two stints where Jacksonville's actually been something worth mentioning. David Garrard era, Leftwich era a little bit. You know, with Maurice Jones-Drew and them boys, they made the playoffs. And Jimmy
The
Smith.
last time that I can remember, the last time that I remember is the 1999-2000 season. I actually thought they were going to the bowl game. They went 14-2 that year, and the only 2 losses that they had was against Tennessee. That was it.
Yeah.
They served everybody else.
Other than that, Jacksonville is who we thought they were. And Trevor Lawrence right now, a little bit over 2,700 yards, 9 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Completing 58% of his passes. That's not terrible. Sacked 25 times on the season. That's not that bad considering how bad this team is. I mean, the most all time is Derek Carr. He got sacked over 70 times. So I don't think he's going to achieve nowhere near close to that number with the amount of games left. But, you know, still, Jacksonville needs to do something about this. They've had issues with their head coach, Urban Meyer, getting twerked on in the building, taking days off, yelling at his coaches. This is some of the stuff that has been displayed according to different people about this guy, Urban Meyer. It's been so much going on. Marvin Jones actually walked out of the facility and had to be begged by the other coaching staff to come back due to the way Urban Meyer prefers to coach during practices. Walked out. Your best wide receiver walked out of practice. He labeled his assistants losers, challenging each coach individually to explain what they've done in their careers. This is the type of leader we talking about in Urban Meyer. Not only did he get twerked in his establishment by a young lady who wasn't his wife, but we got players complaining about him calling out his coaching staff, challenging they not only masculinity but accomplishments and achievements in front of other grown men. Upset at this point, several players have complained to opponents on the Los Angeles Rams that they are not being treated like adults. This is the organization that you under. I believe Urban Meyer has completely lost this team, completely lost this franchise, but I do not think he'll get fired this year. I think they're going to give him another chance to pull some shit together. I disagree with it. I think he should be gone, out the door, effective immediately. He's been given one too many chances as of late already, and he's not who people thought that he would be. What do you think about this organization?
There's been coaches who've coached in college. The college game is way different than the pro game. Let's make sure that we 100% clear on that. The college game is way different than the pro game. You're dealing with 20, 21-year-old kids who are more than 90% of us are not going to the pros. All right? Yeah. More than 90% of us. The rest of us in the pros, what I care about is I care about my job and I care about my money. All right. So all of that other extracurricular nonsense that we got going on, I don't care about any of that. Now, when I think about Justin Herbert, I'm not Justin Herbert, I'm sorry. When I think about Trevor Lawrence and I think about him being a rookie, let's make sure that we remember Peyton Manning as a rookie was 3-13. Not only was he 3-13, he threw almost 30 interceptions. So he was trash as a rookie. No doubt. But they were building that thing around him. In this particular situation, I'm not sure what the plan is in Jacksonville. Not only am I not sure what the plan is, when we talk about leadership, when we talk about at the top, the first thing that a great company does is they recognize when they fail. And when they fail quickly. Mm-hmm. What I mean when I say they fail quickly, we're not holding on to this dude. Okay, we're going to get rid of him and we're going to start over. Fact. And if that means we got to start over right now as opposed to holding on to this executive, holding on to this CEO, if we're holding on to him for 2 or 3 years, this may sink our company. Mm-hmm. We fail and we fail fast. So when I think about Urban Meyer, I think Urban Meyer is a great college coach. I don't see his tenure in the NFL lasting any longer than anything past this season, simply because of where his organization is. And it's not just him. It's the people in the front office who they're hiring. Because you have to do your due diligence when you're dealing with young people. We're talking about a guy in Trevor Lawrence who could possibly be a franchise quarterback. You might wreck him. You might wreck this kid. All right? You might wreck this kid. Yep. And we cannot have that. So if we gotta get rid of this guy to hold on to our franchise quarterback, who may be our quarterback for the next 10, 12 years, Urban Meyer got to go, because coaches get replaced all the time. And in this particular situation, I look at what Urban Meyer's doing. The morale of that team is as low as I've ever seen any pro football team in all my years of watching. When you got guys who are paid to do a job that are walking out of product, I'm basically walking off the job. I don't want to work with this dude no more. Exactly. And if that means that I get fired today, then I'm fired. I'm not interested in working with this guy anymore. That's a leadership issue with me, and that means that I gotta start doing my homework. Now I know that Urban Meyer's got a ridiculous contract, and we might have to eat that money, but you might have to consider it.
And I think that might be what's holding them back. You know, the fact that they might have to eat that money, but you also putting the future of your quarterback at stake, and we can't have that.
Can't, man.
They've been getting destroyed all year. Jacksonville do not look like winners. Lawrence was a winner. Urban was a winner. These boys together, they are not winners. But I tell you who are winners. One of these three guys could be the potential winner of the Defensive Player of the Year. We got T.J. Watt, we got Micah Parsons, and we got Myles Garrett. These three guys are leading the race as of right now. I don't think anybody else is close. If you want to throw J.C. Jackson in there, I'm cool with that. He's been balling out for the Patriots, and the way that defense has been playing, somebody should be getting some type of love. But as far as the guys that's running away with it, it's particularly these three guys. T.J. Watt, 48 tackles, 16 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. He's been playing outside of his mind, and he missed 4 games. That's what's scary.
Don't leave that part out. Don't leave that part out. That's very important.
That's what's scary.
I missed a month. So
Micah Parsons,
that's a big deal.
75 tackles, the most out of these three guys. He's got 12 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. Their record is 9-4 currently. Listen, Micah Parsons has been playing Will, Sam, and Mike, and he's been on the line blitzing the quarterback. There ain't a damn thing. I seen this guy 35, 40 yards downfield guarding a slot receiver. Like, they using this kid as a hybrid package because they got healthy up front. So now they don't really need him to rush the passer. They got DeMarcus Lawrence back. They got Gregory back, which is the two guys on the outside. So what you gonna do? Slide DeMarcus Lawrence over to defensive tackle and put Micah Parsons there? No. You're gonna find some way to keep this kid on the field, and the only way to do that is to put him at put him at Sam, put him at Will, put him at Mike. You got to play him somewhere, right? Micah Parsons been outside of his mind. 75 tackles, 12 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. Then you got Myles Garrett. 45 tackles, 15 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. But his forced fumble came last week in an impressive way. This man got the strip, the sack, the recovery, and the touchdown. Shout out to Myles Garrett, man. He's single-handedly carrying that Browns defense. But me and you, Unc, before the season started, predicted T.J. Watt to run away with the Defensive Player of the Year. Has your decision changed?
Well, I'm on the fence about it now. I mean, I still feel like T.J. Watt is at the top of the list. But when I think about Myles Garrett and his ability to get to the quarterback, that's what he is more than anything. His ability to get to the quarterback and cause so much trouble up front. When I think, I'm not even talking about the numbers. He wreaks havoc on your front four where you have to double team him, and he just makes it so much more difficult for everything that you're doing. Micah Parsons, he's just a breath of fresh air because I'm looking at a guy. I'm trying to think of a guy who shut the door on the A gap like him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about it because when I think about run defense, when I think about teams who rush the football, their primary focus is getting to that A gap, right? Their primary focus is that. Micah Parsons is basically security at the A gap. Like, where you think you're going?
Where you going? Shutting this front
You're not
door.
coming through here. Yeah. No, you're not coming through here. Absolutely. But he's not just that, Beast. He's the guy that you could, like you just mentioned, you could put him anywhere. You want to put him as an edge rusher? He might be the best edge rusher in the game. Yeah. You want to put him at O-line? You want to put him at the inside linebacker? He's stuffing the run. You want to put him You want to put him on the outside? He's making it difficult on your tight end. He's making it difficult on your slot receiver. He's making it difficult on your wide receiver. And please do not run across the middle with him there because you're going to have trouble.
No doubt.
You're going to have a lot of trouble.
He's a hybrid, man. True hybrid.
So the problem that I'm having with Micah is Diggs is still on that team, and we talking about a dude who leading the league in interceptions with 9. So, and I had him as Defensive Player of the Year a couple of weeks ago, but Micah is playing out of his mind right now. So I'm kind of having I'm having a difficult time with these two, but I still stand on what I said before the season started with T.J. Watt being a Defensive Player of the Year. He wreaks havoc.
I'm all
his
in.
job. He absolutely knows the assignment. Yeah. Get to the quarterback. Yeah. That's it.
I'm all in.
Yep.
I'm all in on T.J. Watt winning Defensive Player of the Year, even though I feel like Micah Parsons is putting up a great case for it. Myles Garrett as well, but I think Micah Parsons should be second in that race. But I don't think they're going to give it to a rookie. Just off the strength of that, he would have to do something more amazing than what he's already doing for them to even consider it. I don't think they're going to give it to a rookie. So I think they'll give it to T.J. Watt again before they give it to Micah Parsons for the first time. But I do think Micah Parsons should run away with Defensive Rookie of the Year, no doubt about it, even over his teammate Trevon Diggs. So I do think Parsons should at least get that, right? Like I said, we got a loyal fan base on YouTube, and we do try to get to some. I see all the comments. I see the questions. I see, people being asked what I think about this, what Unc think about that over there on YouTube, and I try to get to them. But this one stuck out to me in particular. In the last show, Friday, Barbershop Fridays, how we do. I made a statement and said the 2018 Cleveland Cavaliers had serviceable talent on that roster, right? People were trying to make it seem like even though LeBron James had a hell of a finals and a hell of a regular season, that 2018 Cleveland Cavaliers squad did not have talent on it. They tried to make it seem like it was the 07 squad, who undoubtedly I think had talent on it, more talent than people are giving credit for, right? Listen. In 2018, LeBron James, if you guys aren't familiar with what happened, which you should be if you're a basketball fan, but in 2018, LeBron James led this team to the finals. He's seen, I believe it was Indiana in the first round. They took him to 7 games. That was the Oladipo-led Indiana. I think Paul George was injured. Sabonis. They had a serviceable amount of guys on that Indiana team. 7 games, right? LeBron and them won. Second round, they saw Toronto. They sweep them boys. Eastern Conference Finals, they saw Boston, a young Jason Tatum, a young Jaylen Brown, Al Horford and them boys. 7 games again. Goes to the finals against the inevitable juggernaut in the Golden State Warriors, right? People saying this team doesn't have talent on this squad. Let me read y'all this roster, right? Let me find it. The roster back in 2018 had LeBron James, who was giving you 27, 9, and 8. J.R. Smith was giving you 8 points. Kevin Love was giving you 17 and 10. George Hill was giving you 9. Isaiah Thomas, little Isaiah, he was 14 a night. Before the trade deadline, these guys had a roster, and then they made a move after the trade deadline because people was hyping up the general manager for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I remember like it was an hour ago. Oh, the Cavs, they just re-upped. They did this, they did that. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in double figures. To say that this team didn't have serviceable talent would be blasphemy. Then you advance to the NBA Finals after 2 Game 7 series and a sweep against DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, which I would consider a serviceable tag team, especially back then, right? These guys just won a championship.
They was the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference when they swept them too, by the way.
Right.
They were 59 wins. Number 1 in the Eastern Conference. Cleveland mopped them.
The next year, 2 years later, they were NBA champions. So, I mean, what more?
Same crew. The next year,
they were NBA champions.
The next year.
Because I think this is the 17-18 season. 18-19, Golden State repeated.
Toronto won it.
19-20.
No.
So
18-19.
So 18-19 was Toronto? Okay.
Yeah, Toronto beat them. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's just what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you advance to the NBA Finals, right? Bron averaged 34, 8, 10 in the NBA Finals. Kevin Love gave you 19 and 11. You have 4 players in double figures.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Love gave you 19 and 11. J.R. Smith gave you 10 points.
James was not getting 19 from nobody in the NBA Finals in 2007. Nobody.
50
Nobody gave
32,
him 19.
50 and 32 record on the season. To say that they didn't have serviceable talent would be completely laughable, especially in 2018. Now, if you want to make that case for Larry Hughes and Boobie Gibson and all of those cats in 2007, if you want to be disrespectful to them, as Zajunas Ilgauskas and all them boys, whatever the case may be, do that. You want to, that's one of the worst teams to ever make the finals, whatever. But you're not about to disrespect this 2018 team that had all of these cats on it. Isaiah Thomas, Derrick Rose, Kendrick Perkins, Jose Calderon, Amon Shumpert, Tristan Thompson, Larry Nance, and Kyle Korver, and Jordan Clarkson, and Dwayne Wade, and Jeff Green, and Rodney Hood, Joe Crowder. You're not about to do that. You hear those names? Those are some serviceable role players. Half of them guys is still going right now.
Now, let's make sure that we clear too, Beast. So before the season starts in the 17-18 season, we got 7 new guys on the roster. 7. And this thing ain't really working. Not only is it not working, it's actually bad. When I heard James say, quote, we shouldn't be on TV anymore. Because it was bad. Because we talking about 7 new guys where the chemistry, just wasn't working. So David Griffin, at the trade deadline, he pulls the trigger. He trades Wade, sends him back to Miami. Mm-hmm. Trades Jay Crowder, sends him to Utah. Trades Derrick Rose, sends him to Sacramento. Mm-hmm. Trades Iman Shumpert, sends him to Sacramento also. Trades Isaiah Thomas, sends him to the Lakers. So they basically flipped the roster again. Right? Flipped the roster again.
That's why I said before the trade deadline.
Right. And in the process of doing that, James still managed to have serviceable enough talent to get them to the playoffs. And when they got to the playoffs, it wasn't just him. Don't get me wrong. He didn't have what he had when he had Irv and Kevin Love. No, he didn't have that.
Right.
But it was still solid enough. I mean, if that was the case, then James wasn't averaging 50. James wasn't averaging 60. No, right. He was doing well enough to get them through the playoffs. So, I mean, I don't think it's ridiculous that the talent level just wasn't there. That's not true because it was. I think the problem that you have is that James was just so good, you overlooked all the rest of that other stuff.
Not
That's what the
only
problem
that,
is.
but how overwhelmingly favorited were the Golden State Warriors. It made it look
Yeah,
like LeBron didn't have no talent just because he didn't have enough talent to match up with those guys. So
yeah.
I think that played a big part in it. But top 5 performers, underperformers. Let's swing through this real quick. We running out of time.
Okay. All right. So at the top, at the top, I'm going to
Performers
start with.
first, yeah.
Hey, I'm start with the top performers. My number 5 is Mr. George Kittle. 15 targets, 13 receptions, 151 yards. He looked really good, absolutely. Number 4, Bobby Wagner is he. I just love Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
15 tackles,
He
2
made
for
your list at
loss.
least 3 times this year.
He just gets to the football. That's who he is. He gets to the football, absolutely. And number 3, Dalvin Cook, man. If this dude can stay healthy, this is what I'm talking about. 27 rushes, 205 yards. We talking about a dude toting the rock. That's what they call it down here, toting the rock. Absolutely. Number 2, Aaron Donald. We talking about a dude who gets to the football. 3 sacks,
Mm-hmm.
wreaking havoc on Arizona yesterday. Absolutely. And at the top of that list is Tom Brady. Absolutely, it's Tom Brady at the
No
top of
doubt
that list. We're
about it.
talking about a dude
The last
who,
sack was a cheap sack for Aaron Donald, but he did get 3 in that game. Shout out to
yeah,
Aaron Donald. He might be in. He
yeah.
might slide himself into this conversation too. He put together
Mm-hmm.
another 3-sack game like how he had the other day. But for me, I got the Tennessee defense, albeit against the woeful Jacksonville Jaguars, but 4 interceptions, 0 points allowed. You completely shut out a team in the National Football League. You deserve some type of credit for that. At 4, I got Tay Adams. Him and Aaron Rodgers was clicking,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
once
it
you thought
was.
they slowed down, they clicked again. 10 for
Mm-hmm.
121 and 2 touchdowns on the day. What else can you expect from the best wide receiver in football? At 3, I got your man George Kittle. 13 for 151 and a touchdown. He just made it look so easy. He's really trying to put himself back into that best tight end in the league conversation because, I think it's Kelsey, and I don't think it's close, but with performances like
Mm-hmm.
this from Kittle, he's really knocking that door down, right?
Facts.
At 2, I got Aaron Rodgers, 341, 4
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns, just walking into him. Like, he should be
Mm-hmm.
leading the MVP candidacy right now, him and Tom Brady. And I think it should go down between them for the next 3 to 4 games. Aaron Rodgers ain't slowing up. And if this man wins back-to-back MVPs, we have to consider him to be, my God, maybe moving into the top 3 all time. Like, he's incredible.
We
Uh,
may have to have that conversation. We may
yeah.
have to.
Number 1, no doubt, Dalvin Cook. 205, 2 touchdowns. He was breaking shit left and right. They couldn't slow him down. They couldn't stop him. Dalvin Cook
Yes,
is
sir.
back, and this is Dalvin Cook coming back early off injury. He wasn't supposed to be back.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to miss another 2 to 3 weeks. And he said, scratch that,
Right.
I'm playing. So shout out to Dalvin Cook. But for underperformers,
Yeah.
I'll lead it off.
I'm listening.
We got at 5. I got Derek Carr, 263 interception. Like Derek Carr played like poo poo on a stick. They got the doze blown off him by the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a complete non-factor for the entirety of the game. Josh Jacobs as well in that same game. Everybody's putting the ball on the ground. Oh, you getting called out by OG the Beast today because he put the ball on the ground. 9 carries for 24 yards, partially due because they was down early and they had to pass.
Oh, the rock. That's
Hold on
your
to it. That
job.
is your job to
Hold
hold on to it.
on to the
And a
football.
lot of mofos was putting this ball on his deck. You're one of them. You are going to get put on notice. Josh Jacobs, 9 carries for 24 yards and a fumble. Shame on you. Gibson. What is this cat's name? Lord, behold. Antonio Gibson. I'm sorry. Slipped my mind. 10 carries for 36 yards. Another guy who put the ball on the deck. You are a running back. Put the ball on the deck. That could be the difference in the ball game, Washington. Y'all lost by 7. He put the ball on the deck. That could be the difference in the game, Antonio. Hold on to the rock, man.
Trash.
At number 2, I got Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton at this point, he's gotten multiple opportunities to prove what he can do. He's been benched in multiple games this season. He lost his job to a rookie. I think Cam Newton should just pretty much hang him up. He's had a great enough career to where he could be in consideration for the Hall of Fame. We don't know. But they say if you got to think about it, it's probably a no. And I am thinking about it, so I don't know. But I got Cam Newton at 1. All these guys putting the football on the deck, you getting it today. You put the football on the deck and threw an interception. So that's double trouble. And number 1, Julio Jones, man. Where have you been all season? Julio Jones is completely over the hill. He's done for. 4 catches for 33 yards for Julio Jones. I anticipated this offense to be something so special that it would leave everything open for Derrick Henry because you can't one-on-one Julio. You can't one-on-one
You had him in the
AJ.
top. You had him in the top 5 before the season started. You had him as the top 5 wideout.
I had him at
Yeah, you
5
had him
before
as
the
the top
season
5.
started. Oh, we gonna
Yeah, you had him
relive
as the
that
top
list.
5.
We gonna definitely relive that list because Julio Jones, sir, you are done. And I had you there out of respect. But damn, I don't know if it's because you've been injured over and over this year, or if you just over the hill. Like, I'm telling you, when it happens suddenly for some guys. Like, there's no show and decline. It's just boom, they wake up garbage.
Trash. At number 5, I got Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Pedestrian, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, and they barely held on. Because Kirk Cousins, we already know who you are when the lights get the brightest. We know who you are, sir, and I think he very much underperformed. At number 4, Josh Jacobs. Come on, man, 9 rushes for 24 yards. That is unacceptable. I had you as a top 10 running back before the season started, and you ain't holding on to the football. That is unacceptable. Absolutely not. At number 3, I got your man, Mr. Dakota Prescott.
Yeah.
Come on, man, get it together. 2 interceptions, 4 sacks. You almost killed us. The defense was who held us serve this weekend. Otherwise, you would have killed us. Get it together, Dak. Come on, man. Help us out. At number 2, Cam Newton. No touchdowns, an interception, and not one fumble beast, 2 of them. Okay?
Garbage.
And he was benched.
Put the ball
And he
on
was
the deck.
benched in the second half. No, man. Absolutely not. You are not getting it done. I don't know how much longer he has. He said there aren't 32 quarterbacks better than me. Actually, sir, there are. You are not one of the top 32 quarterbacks in the game. No, you are not, sir. Absolutely not. And at number 1, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Come on, man. 7 rushes for 9 yards for the game. For the game. 7 rushes for 9 yards for the game.
We call that Gabricio.
Trash. That's where you at right now. Trash. Stop playing with me.
Good stuff.
Trash.
Good stuff. Look, we're gonna wrap up this show. Let's get some questions from the fans in. I know y'all been itching, waiting to interact with us a little bit.
Unbelievable,
Let's get some
man.
questions from the fans. We appreciate all of y'all showing up. We appreciate all y'all showing up, coming in. Flood them questions in, and let's get this this show on the road.
Straight trash, Cam. I can't believe how bad it was, yo. 7 rushes for 9 yards. Get these dudes. In the words of Ray Lewis, get off the field.
Real talk. I'm a machine, jerk.
Get off the field. Get these dudes off the field. No doubt.
Facts.
I'm definitely a waves dude instead of dreadlocks. So my cousin had dreads, and that was definitely his thing. So Durant had a triple-double tonight. So I'm in here with you guys, so I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not know that. So absolutely.
Barkley or Dirk?
Barkley over Dirk. I think Dirk was a little bit of a more versatile scorer, but Barkley was better. Barkley was a better rebounder. Barkley was better in transition. I think Barkley was a better athlete. I think Barkley was he was just I won't say that he was just as good a scorer because I think that Dirk had a little bit more in his bag, but Barkley was right there in terms of we're talking about a dude he averaged 25 a game for 11 straight seasons, so he right there, no doubt.
I would take Dirk over Barkley if I had to choose. You know, I got a man crush on Dirk, but Dirk has done something that Barkley hasn't, and that's gotten a ring and leading his team to do that. Dirk probably has the worst supporting cast to ever win a championship in NBA history, so I would definitely take that guy. And he beat a super team to get that. So, yeah, give me Dirk all day long. Top 5.
I'm not even on Dirk winning. I'm not even on him beating Miami. I'm not on that because everybody talks about them beating Miami to win the NBA championship. I'm stuck on them sweeping the Lakers, the defending NBA champs. Yeah. Swept them out the playoffs. Get these dudes out of here. Swept them out the playoffs.
No doubt. Kev 4654 says top 5 running backs of all time. Let's go. Barry Sanders, Walter Payton. This is in order too. Barry Sanders 1, Walter Payton 2, LaDainian Tomlinson 3. No, let's go. Jim Brown 3, LT 4. And let's do Emmitt Smith 5.
I was just going to say you can't have the all-time leading rusher has to be on the list. He has to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. He has to be on the list. So I can get with that list. No doubt about it. No doubt. Got to definitely get that.
Yeah. OG, you still got Chase over the Jets. Chase over Jets. What is Jets? JJ. Who is Jets? I don't know that nickname. Wavy. Who is Jets? When did MJ pass Jabbar as the GOAT all time? They was crowning MJ in the early 90s. You never really heard, maybe I wasn't old enough, but I never really heard anybody consensusly call Kareem the GOAT. I never heard that before. You know,
it was going on in the early 80s. It was. And when he won the Finals MVP in '85 at 38 years old, it was
People
definitely
was him the greatest of all time.
It was definitely a thing, no doubt about it. It was definitely a thing.
Gotcha.
No doubt about that.
How you feel about Durant triple-double? Didn't know. Is Justin Jefferson a top 3 receiver right now? Pump the brakes. I don't think so. Pump the brakes. Justin Jefferson is balling out, but pump the brakes. He's not better than.
I don't think he better than.
He's not better than Tay Adams. He's not better than D-Hop.
Nope.
So
now D-Hop has been. Now we talking about right now, B. We ain't talking about overall. We talking about right now.
This season?
Yeah, we talking about this.
Oh, he's having a top 3 season this year.
Yeah, that's all we talking about. We ain't talking about all because we know that when D-Hop is healthy, Jefferson is not better than him. But we just talking about this season. You may be able to make the argument that Jefferson is a top 3 receiver, definitely a top 5.
Having a top, say having a top 5 season. Then to say, is he a top 5 receiver? No, I don't think so. But is he having a top 5 season? Definitely.
Yeah.
A few more questions, then we get out of here. JJ is better than D-Hop. Okay, Justin Jefferson better than D-Hop this season.
This season.
Yeah,
this season. All right, this season I can definitely get with that logic because I had JJ as a top 10 wide receiver. I got him in the top 5. No doubt about it. I got him in the top 5.
Jamar Chase thoughts? You must be new, man.
I'm a what you call it. I'm gonna leave that to my nephew over there.
You must be new, man.
He got a man crush on Jay.
Dog. That's all I'm gonna say. Dog.
That's his man. Yeah, he love that dude, no doubt.
Why do you think the Grizzlies have become so successful after Ja injury? I don't know.
I'll tell you. Well, I'll take this one, Beast. I'll tell you right now. They lead the league in rebounding. So we'll start there. Jackson is emerging into a great player. He's becoming a really great player, and they second in the league in blocks. So with all of that together, that means they lock ass. That's the number one thing, more than anything. They lock ass, right? So if they locking ass, we don't have to get that much production offensively because we stopping people. And the reason why we winning games is because we stopping people. Now when you get Ja back, he's going to add that element of scoring, but it's not going to take away from their defense. That's why people don't really pay much attention to Memphis because they in Memphis. But they one of the best defensive teams in the league, and that's why they at the top of the league. They number 4 in the league in the Western Conference right now. They rolling, no doubt.
No doubt about that. Well, there you have it. There you have it. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Like I say, every Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Central Time, we will be live on Twitch. Everybody on YouTube. If you can't catch the live, it's always going to be on YouTube the day after we air. So if we Tuesday, it'll be on YouTube Wednesday morning. If we Friday, it'll be on YouTube Saturday morning. Just give me some time to chop it up, and I got you. Thank you, everybody, for supporting. Y'all already know how we get down. You won't be able to watch it on Twitch. You're going to have to take your ass over there to YouTube, click that subscribe button, click that like button, and click that play button, and enjoy your favorite podcast. Take us home.
Take it light, but take it.
We out, y'all.